day 3. Action. Scoliosis! Today I'm going to be taking you through a couple of things. So we are going to be doing the Schroth walk, which is a style of scoliosis correctives where we're walking whilst holding our elongated spine. So the past 2 days we've been working on holding that elongation while standing and sitting. Well, today we're going to try and hold that elongation whilst walking, which sounds easy, but again, of course, it's just never as easy as it is. Then we're going to do a little bit of hip mobility. So I'm going to take you through a hip mobility routine that I like to do, that I just learned through personal training. And I find that, sorry if my seagull is so loud. I have Sally the seagull that just like lives outside and she's very, very opinionated. We're going to go over a hip mobility routine. It's not going to be very comfortable, but our hips tend to be so tight with scoliosis, so I really want to try and loosen them up a little bit. And today's theme is just kind of about walking and running and hiking, which is something we'll talk about towards the end of our day today. But let's get our corrections whilst we walk. Let's loosen up our hips a little bit. Let's chat about walking. So that's gonna be what we're gonna do today. And remember, I am running a competition to win some free ScolioPro and 1 month VIP membership. So Secret Santa's word is going to be coming out at some point soon. Our first one of the Scoliosis. There's going to be 3 out of the 12 days, and whoever can give me those 3 words at the end of Scoliosis is in to win. So let's get to it. We're going to start with our Schroth walk, so make sure you have space to walk around. So for our Schroth walk, you're going to come and stand with your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to take your hands to your hips. You're going to get strong arches through your foot. Make sure that your ankles, knees, and hips are aligned. Try and do those corrections that we've been working on, getting our hips stacked over our ankles and then our rib cage stacked over our hips. So just trying to get ourselves as elongated and stacked over each other as much as possible. You can push your hands into your hips to help lengthen through your curve as much as possible. Keep the core engaged, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and let's get going. So you're going to hold your corrections. You're going to step the right leg forward. Take a big inhale and come high up onto your tiptoes. And then lower the right heel down, slide the left leg forward. Inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, lower the left foot, slide the right foot forward. Inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes. Lower the right foot, slide the left leg forward. Inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, lower and slide. We're going to keep moving through it. Remember, trying to hold your corrections. Try and hold your spine as long as possible. Let's step forward. Inhale, come high up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, coming and sliding forward. Think about your breath here as you inhale. Really elongate through the spine as much as possible. And exhale, keep the length as you lower and slide forward. Inhale, getting high up onto the tiptoes. Reach the crown of the head up to the ceiling. And exhale, lower and slide. You might wobble around a little bit, that's okay. Inhale, coming high up onto the tiptoes. Exhale, lower and slide. Good work. If you're struggling, don't worry. It's not easy. I was just wobbling around there a little bit myself as well. But when walking with scoliosis, we tend to wobble around a little bit. Our proprioception is definitely thrown off. So teaching our bodies to walk in alignment is hard, but it's really going to be good for our biomechanics, how our hips, how our feet, how our shoulders all kind of function and work together. So the Schroth walk is a good thing to work on. I'm going to add a level of difficulty now if you want to make it more difficult. We're going to do it one more time. You can keep your hands on your hips, or you can take your hands to the shoulders. So let's go. Get the elongation. You can keep the hands onto your hips, or take the hand to the head to start. Push your head up into your hands to get the length. Squeeze the muscles down the spine, squeeze the core, Take the hands to the shoulders. Remember, reaching the elbows away from each other, elbows in line with your shoulders. And let's go. Stepping forward, big inhale as we come up. Exhale as we lower and slide. Inhale as we come up. Exhale as we lower and slide. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale, keep the length and slide. Inhale, get long through the spine. Exhale and lower. Let's keep it going. We're almost there. Inhale, getting long through the spine. Exhale, lower. Inhale, getting long. Exhale, keep the length. Remember to come high up onto those tiptoes. Reach the crown of the head up to the ceiling. And then lowering down. Inhale, coming up tall. And exhale and lower. Woof. Yeah, and you can shake it up. Give yourself a little dance, a little pat on the back. Well done, scoliosis. It's hard work, it's hard work. All curve types, all fusion, we can all benefit from learning to walk with a little bit of elongation, trying to hold ourselves in that corrected position. You might notice that you kind of walk a little bit funny. I definitely do. This right foot just like wandering off to the side, doing its own thing all the time. So the short walk is just a great way to try and teach the body to walk, you know, straighter. But, you know, we're just doing our best. But it's a great way to move the body whilst holding your scoliosis corrections. So practice that. And next we're going to come down onto the mat or onto the ground and do a little bit of mobility for the hips. So a yoga mat, and if you have a yoga block or maybe a big book or pillow or something, if you know you have tight hips, that could be useful as well. So put me on pause and let's come down. Coming down onto the mat, working on some hip mobility, and I'm going to warn you, my beautiful scoliosis friend, this might not be very comfortable, so just do your best. But if it is extremely uncomfortable, it could be your body telling you something that maybe this is something you need to work on. So first thing we're going to do, and I said if you do have tight hips, having a yoga block or something similar to this handy is going to be super useful, but we'll come to that in a minute. So first thing we're going to do, taking the hands behind us, use the ground and push into the ground to keep length in the spine. Please, let's not start dumping into the back. You're going to take your feet out, maybe just over shoulder width apart, and we're just going to start with some gentle turns to the side like this, and then up and over to the other side. So like a windshield wiper. And you're being very gentle here. Try not to force anything, but the idea is to try and get both of the knees as close to the ground as you can. And what we're doing here is moving through internal and external rotation of our hips. So for those of you that don't speak personal trainer, this is internal rotation and this is external rotation. So we want to move through that because this is a very important function of what our hips need to be able to do. When we're experiencing lower back pain, hip pain, it might be because we're suffering mobility in these kind of motions. So we need to work on this. This is also important if you're a runner, if you go on hikes, just walking. Like we need good hip mobility. So we're going to get a couple more of these. Just maybe seeing if your knees can get a little bit closer to the ground now that we've started to get some fluid, some synovial fluid into the hip joint. You might notice things just kind of loosen up a little bit. So we're going to get one more, and then we're going to leave it over to the side. And we're going to come up, and this is where, first with this positioning, you're going to try and have your front ankle in line with your knee, and your back ankle in line with your knee here. So we're at 90-degree angles. If this is excruciatingly painful, this is where having a block to sit up on, and that's just going to make this whole process just a little bit more comfortable because it requires less internal and external rotation from the hip. So that is an option. So what we're going to do here in this position, I want you to really be aware of your scoliosis as well. Please don't dump into your curve. Try and keep yourself up nice and tall. And you're just gonna come and lean forward just a little bit. Keep the length in your spine. Just coming to what is comfortable, but think about trying to get the knees down towards the ground. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Then, with this front knee, I want you to actively push the knee down into the ground. So push it down, push it down, push it down, breathe. 3, 2, 1, and then release. Take your hand to your knee and then push your knee up into your hand. So push the knee with your hand, put your hand into your knee. 3, 2, 1. One more time on each. Push the knee down into the ground. Down, 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 down. 3, 2, 1. And then one more time. Take your hand, push your hand into your knee. 3, 2, 1. Oof. Good. Well done. Now coming over to this leg, this is the one that might cause a little bit of cramping and it's probably going to be extremely uncomfortable. So you're just going to do your best here. But what we're going to try and do is lift this ankle off the ground, even if it's just a tiny little millimeter. Maybe it doesn't move off the ground at all, but you're just actively trying to do that. So getting ready. And also when you do this, please don't lean forward or dump into your scoliosis. Try and keep yourself upright. So we're going to try and lift that foot and you're going to feel it. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Like I said, maybe your foot doesn't move, but you're just thinking about trying to get that leg up. We're going to do it one more time. You got this. And lift. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Keep your scoliosis long. 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to flip it over. And get ourselves into some nice 90-degree angles here. Ankles in line with knee here. Ankles in line with knee here. And we're going to start. Remember, you can put a block underneath you to make this a little bit more comfortable if you need to. Let's just start with a little bit of a fold forward. So keeping the length in the spine, thinking about chest towards knee rather than forehead towards your knee. So you're shining your chest forward. Think about driving the knees down into the ground. And then we're going to do this knee first. So we're going to push this knee down into the ground. Pushing as hard as you can. 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to take your hand to your knee and push your knee into your hand and your hand into your knee. 3, 2, 1. One more time. Push the knee down. Down, 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 down. 3, 2, 1. And then take your hand, push it into your knee. 3, 2, 1. Oof. Okay. Now for that really, really fun bit that I know we all loved doing on the other side. We're going to get this foot up. So prepare yourself. And let's go. Lift that foot. Don't dump yourself forward. Don't lean into your calf. 3, 2, 1. Oh God, this side for me is really difficult. Getting ready. Let's go. One more time. Lift, 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 lift as high as you can. As high as you can. Keep the spine long. Don't lean forward. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Yay, well done. You can just shake it out. Maybe do this again and now see if it feels any different. Can you get your knees a little bit lower down to the ground? Have we got a bit more hip mobility? That we've loosened them up a little bit? Well done for sticking through that because that sucks. Now let's have a little chat about walking, running and hiking. Firstly, Santa's secret word today is beautiful. Write that one down, and that is the first word of our competition. Let's just talk about some tips when it comes to walking first with scoliosis. Obviously, walking is an extremely important part of daily function, and I know it can be difficult, and a lot of that can be related to our hips and our hip mobility. So this kind of stuff that we just did, but also keeping your body strong, especially your glutes and your glute medius, is really going to help stabilize your hips your sacroiliac joint, the joints that run up and down your spine, the joints in your knees, your ankles. Like, that is really important, and that can help a lot with reducing pain when we're walking, because like I said, a lot of the pain with walking, it comes with the imbalances that can be within our hips because of our scoliosis. If you're going on a hike, I recommend not carrying the world's heaviest bag for your scoliosis, taking a backpack. Maybe get your friend or partner to carry the heavy stuff, but obviously I know that's not always the case, but just being aware of that, because a very heavy backpack can be tiresome for the spine. But you know, sometimes we just can't avoid that. I do recommend going outdoors and hiking. So, you know, if you have to carry a heavy bag, then you have to carry a heavy bag, but that is where strengthening is important. I do recommend walking poles, especially if you're going for big hikes, because walking poles can help us get some traction. They can just help keep us more stable, just help us with the whole situation. So walking poles are just a great tool for people with scoliosis that are wanting to go on long walks or long hikes. Running with scoliosis, yes, it is okay, and I recommend it. If you are a runner, if you enjoy it, it is so good for your mental health, so good for your cardiovascular health, just so many good for so many systems within the body. I do recommend doing some form of elongation, some traction after your run, just because of the constant compression on the surface, that bam, 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 bam. Every time you run, it compresses the spine. So after you run, you really want to elongate, decompress. If you know how to prop your convexities, maybe doing some derotational breathing on the floor afterwards just to help derotate, but definitely getting some form of traction or elongation. As well with running, warming up properly first. Please get some mobility into your ankles, your toes, your feet. Warm up your glutes, warm up your core. Please do not just get out of bed and go and run, because you're gonna end up in pain at some point if you continue doing that for your whole life. So please warm up properly, give your feet some love. It is so important for when you're running. So that's going to conclude our session today. If you have any questions, please pop them down in the comments below. I really hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed Scoliosis Day 3. Please like and subscribe as well if you haven't already. Remember that you are a beautiful scoliosis warrior, and I will see you in the next video tomorrow.